Welcome back to the Renegade Report. I'm your host, Sports Information Director Francis Mayer of the greatest athletic department in the known universe, BC Athletics. Today we're talking to a guy who's been an incredible teammate, a great addition to the squad at BC Athletics, Coach Zak Peters, and Stephen Lynch, official statistician of BC Athletics. You're a numbers guy, and I heard you had some interest in Coach Zak's numbers. Take it away, sir.
No, I was just curious, because we always ask, how much do you bench press?
Bro?
Not enough. Not enough. You can always get stronger, right?
I had a couple other two-part questions for you.
Okay.
At what point did you start in your life, getting heavily into weight training? And then the second part is there's a lot of parents out there with young kids that are getting their kids into athletics younger and younger. At what age do you recommend that they start working out with strength and conditioning with weights specifically?
That's a great question. Yeah, I personally I didn't get into a weight room until I was a freshman in high school. I got there and there was a weight room and coaches started saying, hey, let's go. So I went and I fell in love with it. I still remember the first day I walked in. I was intimidated like anybody else, but fell in love with it. I didn't really start getting into it until my senior year in high school. I met a local guy, actually, Ken Wheeler, if you know him. Started powerlifting with him, then started dabbling in that competition side of it. As I've gone into the weightlifting side as well. So that's what really got me going was my high school.
When I first moved to Bakersfield, and then please get back to Steve's question, it was a good one. I hope that Ken Wheeler was related to Flex Wheeler.
Yeah.
He's not. They're not. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
He's a stud, though. I got to give a little shout out, I guess.
So what do you recommend, though, for parents with young kids? At what age do you recommend that they start getting their kids maybe into weight lifting?
When we start talking about weights, free weights, that's something we can hold off to till puberty hits, is what the books all say. When you start getting hair under your armpits, we start seeing those types of things. That's when you start picking up and putting down weights. But in terms of getting out and building an athletic foundation, I'm not talking skill specific. Don't go out as a tennis player and start hitting backhands and forehands every day. We don't need to specify or get into that specificity too early. That can be very dangerous. But weights, wait till you're hitting puberty. But if we think about it too, our body weight, we start running around as a little kid, that's relative strength building, right? That's our body weight is a big resistant force within as we compete in athletics. And that's a major concept too, as I look at high school players as they look into transfer into BC. What are you like relatively? How is your relative strength? Can you jump and land on one leg in a stable position and with your knee in a good position, right? If we build that early on, that's very, very important, right? Because once we get on the athletic field, everything's dynamic. Everything evolves. It's very fast, right? And that's the big change everybody talks about with the college athletics. The game speeds up so much. Yeah, people are bigger, they're a little bit stronger, but it's so much faster. So things change faster. So what if we're taking our steps, we're jumping, looking for a rebound, and I land? Have I been working on my landing and my knee posture, my torso posture? Am I sitting back on my heels? Am I in a good, safe, strong position where I can then hit and go and get into my next physical requirement? Or am I the one who's been squatting 500 pounds, doesn't know how to translate weight onto the field, and get into a good, safe posture? I'm going to lose that battle every day. We got to be strong enough with our body. So it's very important. That's why it's such a great question. It's so very important for us to be great have a great foundation with being able to move our body weight, right? It needs to start there.
And Coach,
Actually, Francis, if you don't mind, I'd like to interject.
ladies and gentlemen, Trevor Horn of the Bakersfield, California. Now, I know you usually cover the prep kids, but please step up to the college table, sir. Great to see you.
I actually started with junior college sports 5 years ago when I was at American River College. So I actually do love junior college. I think it's a great gateway for those students, either the small one, the ones that are maybe too small, didn't get grades enough, need a couple extra years. I think junior college is absolutely a fantastic way to go, whether you're in athletics or just academics. Everybody should experience a junior college in one step or another if they don't get that opportunity to a 4-year. Zach, for you, it's funny you bring that up because yesterday I was reading a story from a Boise State commit yesterday. It was letter of intent day, obviously, and he wrote a letter about how he came to where he is. And he was talking exactly about what you were just speaking about. In 2003, when he was a 7-year-old, he was small, he was undersized. He went to go try out for Pee Wee. I guess his family had just moved to the greater Dallas area, and he enrolled late. Well, he walked in, and the coach said, hey, he didn't have the heart to tell him, hey, you're too late. But he wanted to say, hey, go out, let's run a couple plays. I guess the coach had told the defense, don't take it easy on him, but we're going to run a play for him. And I guess this kid had, taken the ball, ran left, and went right by the defense. And the coach went up to the defense and says, I told you not to take it easy on him.
Yeah.
Went right back to it 3 more times.
That's
boom,
awesome.
boom, boom. Every single time, the kid just went right by the defense. And he said it wasn't because of luck. It was because for 3 months before that, he and his dad were out there doing exactly what you said. He was out there checking his posture,
Yeah.
making sure he was doing the things right, understanding the defense, understanding when he had to move and doing all this stuff. And so it was about understanding his body at a very young age.
Very
and like
true.
you said too, we can do push-ups, we can jump up and down because our body should be able to resist that which our body gives.
I love it, yep.
And the free weights themselves, that's something exterior that we need to wait for our our bones and joints to kind of grow into the maturity level, so we're not hurting ourselves. So I love
Exactly.
this conversation. I really do, because I think it's one that I think all parents should be listening to,
Yes.
all coaches should be listening to. Don't start things too early, but understand you can do a few things early with the right guidance.
Certainly, I want to build on that 1 second, if you don't mind.
Sure.
With that, right, if we can get in the right posture, not only is it safe, but we create leverage. And we all talk about, right, in a football alignment, a 6-inch step. It's a reason it's a 6-inch step. It's not a 4, it's not an 8. You create leverage in that perfect technique. When we land, right, and we're rebounding a ball, we create leverage in those perfect techniques, right? That's why it's our technique.
Yep.
And when we have leverage, regardless if you're a 500 or a 400-pound squatter, don't matter. If you have the proper leverage, right, if you're the low man wins. So if we can rep that, if we can get that and ingrain those patterns early on, we're going to be safer, but we're also going to win.
Yep.
Right? We're going to be stronger.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do linemen win games?
Yeah. I mean,
See, I never
That's
had
from my
to-
buddy John Osterhouse up in Sacramento.
that's it. I love it. Yeah.
I never had to worry about the landings and
Okay,
the
bye,
rebounds
guys.
because I had like a 2-inch vertical. So
We're always on the ground. At least
Yeah.
had one.
Thank you so much, Trevor Horn, for chiming in and stopping by. You're always welcome. You can catch Trevor's work in the Bakersfield, California, and he does a great
Take
job
it easy,
covering prep
Trevor.
sports. Be well, Trev. The other thing I wanted to bring up is Coach Payton echoes what Coach Peters says, and that's that he sees a lot of injuries in baseball because everybody, first of all, thinks their kid is going to be a professional someday. Let them enjoy sports.
Yeah.
It's a game, friends.
Yeah.
It's going to get serious all too soon, right? And what Coach Payton says is that kids have repetitive stress injuries at younger and younger ages, and he's getting old arms.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, let them play football. Let them do gymnastics. Let them do a wide variety of things and learn how to have a higher physical IQ.
There's a great example to pull baseball because baseball has an extremely long season, right? Not only they have a long season, but as we talk about the younger ages, they'll have club teams and their travel teams. You're playing year-round baseball. Not all sports are like that, but that's very dangerous. It's very bad on the shoulder. I've seen a lot of very successful. We got genetic freaks that we ruin because of that. We were talking about those genetic freaks that stand out. When we talk about really skill sports, overhand throwing sports, right? Baseball, softball.
Because that's not a good motion.
No, the softball underhand pitch is natural on the shoulder, but an overhand pitch is not natural for the shoulder. We got to learn how to do it, and we got to step back. I guess I'll say baseball was my first love. I fell into football later because
really?
baseball was taken away from me. My grandpa paid for the Yankees, actually. I grew up, I would pitch to my mom all the time growing up. We'd sit out in the front yard. But I was the classic guy that I was pitching. I had my first surgery when I was in 8th grade because I
Wait.
was the guy that threw too early.
I don't want to hold this against you, but your grandpa played for the Yankees.
Mickey Mantle is your grandpa?
No. he I don't think he ever started, but yeah, he made the team. He was out there. He ended
him.
up quitting to come back home and be a pastor.
Well, but baseball until the collective bargaining agreement and free agency, especially in maybe not prior to Mantle's era though, right? Steve Lynch, like guys used to have to work at Sears or a hardware store in the offseason.
Even during Mantle, when Mantle was playing in the major leagues, all the way up until about the 70s, did they not really? I mean, most of the time during the 60s, players, at least till the late 60s, had to have jobs during the winter.
It was a working class type
Right.
of
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
I mean, they were making 25, 30, 40, if they were lucky, $40,000 a year, a lot of those guys.
Equivalent in today's dollars.
Yeah,
No.
money's a little bit different in terms of money in sports.
I remember the first $100,000 a year. Well, I think it was Babe Ruth, actually. But
I had a buddy in high school. His name was Brian Weekly, and he threw the crap out of the ball. That was the first guy who beamed me, who left stitch marks on my arm. And he was horrifying. He had wild hair that came out from under his hat and was just a dealer. Just brought the cheddar. Well, I think his great aunt was a housekeeper for the Oakland A's. And she found Jose Canseco's pay stub in the locker room, and the team was like, you can keep it as a souvenir, which is crazy now in the age of identity theft, right? But I remember Brian had a copy of it, and we just would stare at that thing like it was unreal. That's how much money his 2-week check was what my dad made in a year.
Wow.
You know, the deductions were huge. I mean, they were massive numbers. It was just phenomenal.
But
like,
even the salaries have skyrocketed way since then. I mean,
yeah.
You look at the guys that played in the 90s, they make peanuts compared to, I mean, now you got $20 million guys. The Dodgers have like 4 or 5
Yeah,
of
if you're a mediocre left-handed pitcher, you can make $8 to $10 million a year. But unfortunately, to bring it all back around to what we're talking about, those skyrocketing salaries are what make people jump on their kids, and they're like, "You're going to change our lives."
Yeah.
You're going to throw left-handed even though you're right-handed.
So Zach, you got hurt. Did you have a ulnar?
Yeah. The ulnar, the bone out here on the what do they call it? Medial epicondyle. The tendons wrap from the wrist all the way around that medial epicondyle. It actually, I was young, right? So my growth plates were still growing. So instead of a normal what you see nowadays, a Tommy John, where the tendons tear, it actually broke the bone off. And so as opposed to the tendons and muscles tearing, the bone snapped off, and so the medial epicondyle actually came off, and so they had to screw it back in. That's it, just like we're talking about, right? That early specialization. I was the guy that pitched every game, and then I went home and played, and I'd be walking home from games, I'd be, Mom, my arm hurts, what's wrong? You know, it'd move from my shoulder to my elbow to my shoulder, because then I'd start changing how I threw, right? Because it hurts doing this, I'm going to do that. And that was actually, I pitched that game. I told the coach, hey, my arm hurts. I can't go anymore. He said, all right, we'll get a different pitcher in, but you go to shortstop. So then I went to short. The first ball hit me. I threw it to first, and the ball skyrocketed and rushed to the hospital and surgery a few days later.
Say, boy, you're going to play the football now. Turns out it's going to be safer for your skeleton.
Yeah, there's
it's funny.
bad information out there.
I got hurt way more playing basketball than I ever did football.
Well, and it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Coach Zach, we would absolutely love to have you on the show again. This has been a treat. Like I said, you've been a tremendous addition to the organization. I know we're all very happy to have you. And, just like life, if you have a really nice car, like a Porsche GT, but you don't have the skills to drive it, what good is it? Same could be said for our facility. And we're all thrilled to have you. You're a great guy. And I hope we can have you on the coach show again to talk about some other things.
Well, thank you so much. I enjoyed being here. This is truly a dream job to come back home as a strength coach and work at a school that I grew up watching,
Yeah.
To be here and do what I love, marry the woman from my dream that's from here, so, and to be part
You
of this.
married up, my friend. No disrespect.
No, I did.
Great
Certainly.
gal.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
And a big ups to, the community and the college for creating this, not only my platform now as a coach and creating this position, but also the facility. It's something that we need. It's something we need to see more of around junior colleges around this nation. The strength coach is a very important position. I hope to bring that up and make it what I can. So thank you so much for your endorsement and this opportunity.
Zach, anytime. Coming up next, we're going to check in with some guys who have also benefited from Coach Zach's efforts. That'll be Coach Rich Hughes and Coach Aaron Chavez of the very successful Bakersfield College men's basketball team. They had a great victory last night, 5 guys in double-digit scoring, but we'll let them tell that story, and of course we'll hear more from the official statistician Steve Lynch right here on the Renegade Report.